So, today's video is going to be a slightly, I won't say heavy or one, because it has to do with the whole thing that is going surrounding AC Unity, Assassin's Creed Unity, and the whole deal with female protagonists. I'm going to have two videos on this. One is going to be me where I was attempted to do this video, and it just ended up me just rambling and just word vomiting my thoughts. And then there's going to be this video, which I'm going to try and keep as short as possible and to my notes as possible. With that in mind, let's get the show on the road. So, there were two thoughts that were going through my mind when I was researching this topic. One, that we should be happy with good characters in video games regardless of their gender, color, creed, whatever. And the other part, and sometimes the problem is that there isn't that many females in video games. Well, female protagonists and playable characters in video games. So, that is a thing which we will discuss now. First point was that, yes, we should just be happy with good characters, right? And stories should be enjoyed regardless of their characters and the characters that you play in it. So, for example, I have played many a game in my time. So, to give you a quick cross-section of the games I enjoy, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, I love the new Lara Croft, Mirror's Edge, Gears of War, Splinter Cell. I enjoyed Prototype 1 and 2, can't remember which I enjoyed more. Payday, Guild Wars, and the list just goes on. Oh, and Metal Gear Rising, amazing! I enjoyed all of those games, and I really didn't give a thought to who my, I gave a thought to who my character was, but I didn't give a thought to who specifically they were. Like, am I playing a female? Am I playing a male? Am I playing a white chick? A black dude? I didn't really think that that was an issue. It was just, I'm playing a story. I am playing a story about this character and their experiences in their life, in their world, and I'm just having fun with it, right? So, there is always that side to gaming. You should just enjoy gaming for what it is and not necessarily think everything that comes out of, every negative thing, like for example, this whole thing is necessarily damning to the art form or damning to the game itself. Then, other side of my brain was like, hold on. The kind of problem here is that the ratio of white males to insert other faction, it's not the right word, here, it's not this, or it's this. And therein lies the problem, because I can think, like, even look to the list I just listed off, I can tell you 2 of those games have female protagonists. One of those games has black male protagonists, and the rest of those are white or male or Asian male. If you kind of go on the whole JRPG, are they really white or are they Asian? That whole thing. But throw that out, that's something different. I think kind of therein lies the problem, is that there's not a wide range of characters that we can say, oh yeah, it's fine, there's equality in the space, there's a decent ratio of white, black, female protagonists versus white male protagonists. But at the same time, going back to my first point, that's not necessarily an issue, because you can just enjoy a game for what it is. It doesn't make these games that just have white male protagonists horrible, unplayable, and disgusting. It just means that some people are going to want more. They want more diversity in the characters they play. They want more true representations of the characters they play, because sometimes, you see a black guy in a video game, it's not necessarily, like, it's usually the stereotypical kind of thug life kind of guy, but whatever, you look past it, but doesn't mean that it should stay that way, right? Then, while I was researching everything for this video, I came across a couple of videos. One was from a guy called Review Tech USA, who was talking about, when it comes to these things in video games, you shouldn't always make a big hullabaloo over them. Yes, it's a bad thing, but there are bigger things in the world that should really take your attention, right? But still, point on me saying, yeah, I agree with that, but change does need to happen, right? And then another video which I thought was really clever and really well done was done by Nightwing01. Really good YouTuber. I will link both those videos in the description. And he was going into the historical value of it, and he was talking about how in the whole Revolution of France, it was not necessarily the best time for a woman to be an assassin, because if you were a woman kind of speaking up in that for even just challenging shopkeepers' prices, you would be arrested, and during that time period, people loved the guillotine, so might not be the best time to be a female assassin, unless you were in a pirate or in Asia, where, female pirates, if you played Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, like, what's the name? Redhead chick and Mary were just like, what up, we're just gonna rebel and break the norms, and that was how it worked. And that was in the same century as well. It was slightly earlier on. And if you're in Asia, a lot of ninjas were farmers, and some of those farmers were women avenging their husbands' deaths. So, there is many facets to this whole thing, and to be honest, Ubisoft didn't handle the press as well as they could have, because, with the whaling thing, this is a point raised from K-Wing's video, that, they had the whole whaling thing very well, but they lacked that same discretion here. Main point, yes, there should be equality in the space, and we should have an equal representation of everyone that is in the world, and I strongly believe that. But at the same time, you're playing a video game. It's not the be-all, end-all of the earth, and you should enjoy video games for what they are, and yes, have expectations, but don't always allow those expectations to just become so overwhelming that you just have to punch down everything, right? And also take some time, look into the history of these games, and don't always, especially with a game like Assassin's Creed, it's set in a time period. Look up what things are like in that time period before you start going off about how it's sexist, racist, XYZ. But when things are actually racist and sexist, call them out. I would be there on the front lines with you. I'd be calling them out as well. But sometimes take some time to look before you leave. So yeah, that was my shorter thoughts, I hope, on Assassin's Creed, the whole thing surrounding Assassin's Creed Unity. I will be having another video uploaded, which is just me going to go bleh. And yeah, watch that if you feel like it. If not, thank you for watching it, thank you for your support, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.